Hey everyone, in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to get an inside to your objects and buildings that have openings like doorways and windows. So this is a common problem that beginners have with Blender, just modeling in general, but it's a real problem with the Blender game engine. So for the Blender game engine you want version 2.79b. That is the latest version that supports the game engine. You want to make sure that the game engine is in fact turned on, and that's up here in the center. Okay, and then the last thing you want to do for lighting and shadows is you want to come over here on the right hand side, click on the render panel, that's the little camera panel, and then come down here and where it says shading you want to turn on GLSL, and that will then get you the all the right lighting setup. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press 1 on my numpad. And now I'm looking through the front view of my building. I'm going to tab into edit mode. All right, and I'm going to cut open. A door, and I'm going to use the knife tool for this. So I'm going to press K. I'm just going to come down here, and I'm going to simply click. Now, if you just move your mouse, you're in kind of free move mode. And if you press the letter C, it now will hold that angle. So now I can simply click, and then I can come over here, click, and then come back down and click, and then press return on the keyboard to let Blender know that I'm done cutting. Okay, now I want to delete that, so I'm going to press X, and I'm going to say that I want to delete the faces, and that will just delete the face there, and then you can see it. Okay, I'm going to tab back into object mode, and you'll see that I can see the inside of the building, and that looks all fine. But notice that the walls are paper thin. As a matter of fact, they're only as thin as a single face. And in the game engine, when I press play, you'll see that the inside, because it has no thickness, there's no wall thickness, the Blender game engine does not actually see it. And that's because faces in 3D programs can actually be single-sided. And I won't get too technical, but it basically means the computer only has to do half the work. It only has to render half of the faces. And that's the faces that are facing towards the camera. And so now how do we fix that, right? Let me change my lighting just a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so how do we do it? Well, we select our building, then we come over here on the right-hand side, and we click on this little wrench icon. We go to add modifier, and the modifier we want to add in is called the Solidify Modifier. And when you do that, you'll notice if you go to your opening, like the doorway here, you'll notice that you already have a little bit of a thickness to the wall. And there's a little slide over here that says thickness, and if you click and drag on that, you'll see that you can actually make the walls thicker. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now the problem that's occurring is that it's applying this modifier to every single face on this model. So you can see that the floor is actually going up. So the floor is actually going up and in. And we can, there's a couple ways that we can take care of that. Okay, so if you're pretty happy with that, if we press play now, you'll see that everything's really dark. So what gives? Well, what we need to do is we need to come down here, and we need to click on this little button here. And right now it says we're in solid mode. If we choose texture mode, now we'll be able to see a little bit more realistic lighting. You can see the shadows there. All right, so let's take a look at it. Press play, and now you can see in the game engine our walls do have thickness, and everything is looking a little bit better. Okay. Now if I tab into edit mode, I can't really fix this weirdness going on here because this geometry here isn't real. And that's because I still have the modifier turned on. I have to actually apply the modifier to make that geometry real. So if I click apply, the modifier is now final. Now when I tab into edit mode, you'll see that I can actually select the geometry here. So I could select this vertex and shift click this vertex, and I could grab and move it down on the z-axis until it goes straight down. Okay, so that's looking pretty good there. It looks like it needs to move out a little bit, something like that, so it's a little more correct. There we go. It's looking a little bit better. And now we'll take a look at it. Press play in game, and you can see now we have a proper inside. Okay, I hope this tutorial helped you out, and good luck.